Fox Sports.
We are the Fourth. We are St. Louis.
Welcome to St. Louis Cardinal baseball from downtown St. Louis. Temperatures have cooled. The Cardinals will try to cool off the red-hot Brewers, who've won 5 straight. Welcome to the telecast. Rick Horton alongside Al Ravansky. Al, Matt Holliday not in the lineup tonight. He is a late scratch, but the Cardinals do have Yadier Molina back.
And that's a welcome sight. He is one of their true leaders, and Yadi, who was swinging a hot bat, currently has a 12-game hitting streak. He's also been the hottest hitter on the Cardinals since the All-Star break. And hitting is just a small part of what he does. It's all about defense, handling the pitching staff. He's so great. He's already picked off 39 base stealers in his young career, and just the Gold Glover, 3 Gold Glovers. We really have missed him.
Yadi behind the plate. He'll be responsible for cooling down some of these Brewers bats. We'll look inside those numbers when we come back. Look at the Brewers lineup. Very potent hitters, Braun and Fielder. Cardinals have handled these 2 sluggers, but Al, they've had trouble with a couple of other Brewers.
Corey Hart has really been a thorn in their side. He hit a 2-run home run last night, and on the season, 333, 3 home runs, and 9 RBIs against Cardinal pitching. Casey McGee has actually had a higher average, 342, 3 home runs last week in one game and 7 RBIs. And Casey, in the 10th inning, drove in the deciding run.
Looking forward to Game 2 of the 3-game series. We'll take a look at our starting pitchers when we come back on Fox Sports Midwest.
Milwaukee, he gave up 5 runs last week to the Cardinals, and he kind of stayed away. So we kind of think that he may be working inside more here tonight. We'll see. Jake Westbrook, an outstanding pitcher who has a tremendous sinking fastball. He's got to keep the ball down and get his ground balls. When we come back, we'll take a look at the Cardinals starters. Hey, who's the best hitter among the starters? We'll find out.
About how important it is for starting pitchers to be able to help themselves with the bat. Jim Hayes talks it over with the Cardinal starters to find out just who is the best at the plate.
Stan the Man, Lou Brock, Albert Pujols. These guys could hit. These guys cannot. While the Cardinals are battling hard for a division title, the St. Louis starters are battling for bragging rights as the team's best hitting pitcher. If you go by the numbers, Chris Carpenter has the best average, but teammate Kyle Loesch has the better career average. Who do they think is better?
Just look at the numbers. I mean, it's just a fact. I get the most pop.
I think a big part of it is athleticism.
I'm just an all-around athlete.
None of the other guys have played a position. I have.
I think I look the best up there too. I really think I look the most hitterish.
I think that pretty much sums it up right there.
So it's a two-horse race, right? What about Jaime? Didn't Garcia say at the beginning of spring training he was going to win the team's Silver Slugger Award?
I think he cleared a place out on his mantle for where he was going to put it, and then there was a little problem called actual game performance.
So Jaime won't get the team's Silver Slugger Award this year.
Maybe for foul balls or swings and misses if you want to give out an award for that, but anything else offensively for him is out of the question.
While Jaime does have the only home run by a Cardinals starter this year, he still has the lowest average among the starters. So who does Jaime think is the best hitting pitcher on the Cardinals? It may not be Jaime, but at least Garcia has the right attitude about it.
You know, I don't care about hitting. I care about going out there and giving my team a chance to win.
So according to Chris and Kyle, the race is between Chris and Kyle. Both think they're the best hitting pitcher. But what do they think about each other?
Man, you can come watch him take BP here. I mean, he swings as hard as he can. It sounds like a wet newspaper.
You know, he's a great 4 o'clock hitter. You come out, watch him in BP, watch him in the cage. You think Ken Griffey Jr. / Ichiro.
He gives it all he's got, and he can one-hop the track out there. I don't think he even can get it out.
You know, I throw to my 4-year-old son, and he's got one swing. And you have to throw the ball right in that swing. That's him.
So, Chris Carpenter thinks he's the best. Kyle Loesch thinks he's the best. Jake knows he's clearly not the best. And no one thinks Jaime's the best. So who is the best hitting Cardinals starting pitcher?
It's hard to say. None of us are really any good.
Well said, Jake.
Is brought to you by Budweiser. Great times are waiting. Grab some buds. By Chevy. See your Mid-America Chevy dealer. By Southwest Airlines new Rapid Rewards. Unlimited reward seats and no blackout dates. By Dobbs Tire and Auto Centers. #1 in quality tires and expert auto service. And by Steak and Shake. Life needs flavor. Busch Stadium, St. Louis temperatures in the mid-70s. Glorious evening for baseball. Milwaukee Brewers in town, game 2, and here's the Southwest Airlines Starting lineup for the Brewers: Corey Hart, Nyjer Morgan, and Ryan Braun will lead it off in the first, followed by Fielder, McGee, Betancourt. Hairston gets the start at second base. He'll bat seventh. Kataris and Wolf for Milwaukee against Jake Westbrook. Ready for pitch number 1. And it misses the inside half. Corey Hart did some damage here yesterday against the Redbirds with a third inning 2-run home run to give the Brewers the lead. And what a game we had here yesterday, Al. It just didn't turn out the Cardinals' way.
Well, it was a long game, but at the time you didn't really realize it because it was such a good game. Unfortunately, it didn't go the Cardinals' way, and I feel the Cardinals really have to win today and tomorrow.
And Jake Westbrook will need to start that off. Chris Carpenter will pitch the finale against Giovanni Gallardo. 2-1 to Hart.
What Jake needs to do is keep that ball down there. Eventually he'll find they get it up elevated enough to get the strikes, but that's where they can pound it in the dirt.
3-1 misses and a leadoff walk. And that is the 49th walk of the season for Jake Westbrook. He leads the Cardinals in that department. Here's the defense behind him. Alan Craig just back off the disabled list in left field. Jay and Patterson in the outfield. Freeze for Calterio and Pujols on the infield. Yadier Molina back off the suspended list, and the scouting report on Jake Westbrook.
Well, you want to keep the ball down. He has the best ground ball percentage among major league starters since being acquired by the Cardinals. He's a ground ball machine, and his track record last 3 years have been better in the second half.
There's a great bunt. Pujols got no chance to throw out Nyjer Morgan. A walk and a bunt base hit is how this one starts.
Well, I thought Jake got squeezed by the home plate umpire in the first batter. And then, as you said, Nyjer Morgan just lays down a perfect bunt. But the Cardinals have been here to see Nyjer's bunt. Just catches it, deadens out there, and by the time Albert picks it up, there's no play.
He makes that look so easy, Al. It's almost as if he could do that successfully 70% of the time.
And if he can do it 70% of the time, be a fool not to do it a lot more often.
Ryan Braun, 74 RBIs with an opportunity here in the first.
Cardinals have done a good job of containing Brown and Fielder, but they've allowed the supporting cast to beat him in many cases.
Just underway here at Busch Stadium. The Cardinals already needing a double play, needing some help. Westbrook knows how to get ground balls. There's a swing and a miss.
Only missed location, but at least Braun swung at.
Mentioned 49 walks to lead the Redbirds. Seems to me, Al, that's too many for a pitcher like Jake Westbrook.
True, and I think he'd be the first one to tell you that. But I don't think he's trying to walk people. I think that was a lot of his problems in the first half, just ball moving in and out of the strike zone.
Cardinals lost game 1 here of the series and of the homestand last night. They lost 5-3 in extra innings. Hoping for some revenge here tonight. Another nice crowd. Ground ball foul. Game time temperature 76 degrees. Sellout crowd here last night, over 40,000.
People settle in, and looks like we're going to have another real good crowd. Now he's set up outside several times, and Jake really can't get out there, but he's getting him to swing at the ball on the inside. Now he throws it away when he's not supposed to.
So missing his spots here in the first inning is Jake Westbrook, and this is not a club you want to do that with. Brewers are third in the National League in batting at 262. The Cardinals first, but the Brewers have a lot of pop in this lineup.
Well, they play in a more explosive home field. They have a poor road record, but it's gotten a lot better the last couple weeks.
Will Ron Renicky start the runners here?
Very aggressive.
Not going, and a jam shot, and this might fall in left field, and it does, in front of Alan Craig, and he gets it in quickly. So a walk and 2 hits. And the base is loaded for Prince Fielder here in the top of the first.
Sometimes the base runner can get a real good read, easier for him than sometimes the position players.
But not able to score is Corey Hart. He's the runner at third, Morgan at second, and Braun at first. And now you've got real trouble facing Prince Fielder. Third in the National League in home runs with 26.
Got the shift on. Furcal is almost behind second base. This time Theriot playing a little more his normal position, shading first base a couple steps. And you fall behind the count against a great hitter, just asking for trouble.
Ominous feel here in the top of the first. That helps.
Sure does.
Westbrook is ready. The 2-1. Hit the center field. And certainly deep enough to score Corey Hart. And Morgan advances to third. RBI for Prince Fielder on the sacrifice fly. And it could have been better and it could have been worse.
86 RBIs, and now you at least have set up the double play. They are a real problem when they score first. Tremendous winning percentage.
Braun a threat to steal at first base. He's 20 for 24 in stolen bases. McGee at the plate.
Well, you haven't solved McGee yet. Angel Hernandez had a very low strike zone last night, but that strike zone is not in play tonight so far. Pitching behind, pitch count gets up. Give hitters a lot of confidence.
One pitch can change the momentum. 2-0 to Casey McGee. Cardinals have to be careful with the Brewers. They're starting to play better on the road. Been a very good home team, but their confidence, I think, is getting sky high. When it's popped up, Molina comes back to the screen and it gets out of play.
You're right about that. You know, that was one of the things that you thought, you know, get them on the road, you can win those games. Let's see who helps out. Westbrook trying to yell and help him locate the ball.
Jake Westbrook laboring here in the first. 3-1. One nothing Brewers, top of the first. Morgan and Braun. There goes Braun, and that pitch is low. Ball 4. Second walk of the inning for Jake Westbrook, and he is really laboring.
Surprising that Betancourt leads the National League in sac flies. Picked up one last night.
His 9th of the season. Also one of the more difficult players in the National League to strike out. He's in the top 10 along with Theriot and Pujols. So he's going to put the ball in play. Cardinals would like for him to put it into play right to the shortstop. Get out of this inning. First pitch to Betancourt. Fouls it off. Much better pitch there from Westbrook.
Correct. A breaking ball and that good desired result ended up down the way on the corner.
Bases are loaded for the second time in the Brewers' first inning. Fielder with a sacrifice fly, 1-0 Milwaukee.
Part of the strategy, make Wolf wait.
There's the sacrifice fly leaders in the National League. Not a number we normally give you, but in this case, appropriate. Ground ball to left side. David Freese to second base. On to Pujols. And a double play. And Jake Westbrook gets out of it with just one Brewer run. Cardinals to the plate when we come back. Top of the first, the Brewers push just one run across on 2 hits. Here's the Cardinals batting order. Rafael Furcal will lead it off, the shortstop. Corey Patterson, Pujols, David Freese to follow. Then Craig, Molina, Theriot, Jay, and Westbrook. And the Brewers starter is the veteran left-hander Randy Wolf.
Well, you want to lay off his high fastball. We think he might work a little more inside after the Cardinals scored 5 runs off him in Milwaukee. So he's going to probably throw that cutter in on the righties. And Corey Patterson, who's hit .500 against him, told me, I asked him, I said, why have you hit him so well? And he goes, well, he only throws 2 pitches to me. So the elimination of that cutter, it's either the slow curveball or fastball, has become a smart way for him to go up and hit against this left-hander. And also Corey said he's actually hitting better against left-handers, pitchers against right-handers this year.
So he's earned the start tonight. he was actually in the original lineup, and so was Matt Holliday. And Matt Holliday was a late scratch, and we've been getting reports that Matt may have injured himself actually in the weight room and not able to play tonight. Line drive, base hit by Furcal, and this might get in the gap and to the wall, and it does. Furcal rounds first, and he'll be content with a stand-up double and a good response by the Cardinals here in the bottom of the first.
No doubt about it. You got to get this crowd back into this game, and no better way than to score a bunch of runs in the first inning. Furcal did his job.
Furcal, the newest Cardinal, laces this one to left center. And Furcal is safe at second. Safe and secure, New York Life. You mentioned Patterson, very successful against Randy Wolf in his career, batting .214 as a Cardinal.
6 for 12 off of Randy Wolf, so Tony inserted him in the lineup.
And a bunt attempt by Patterson. Niger Morgan did it at the top of the first. Why not? It's interesting what you say about Patterson and Randy Wolf, that he's able to eliminate a pitch that he never throws him. You'd think that'd be a pretty good message for the other pitcher, wouldn't it?
Well, sure.
You might want to just show it just to keep him guessing.
Well, that would be the smart approach, but
pulls the bat back after offering again. Now checks with Jose Oquendo. Both pitchers feeling for that strike zone a bit. It's a perfect night to pitch. Perfect temperatures. Not a lot of breeze to speak of. Very comfortable evening. 2-1 to Patterson. And the bunt attempt back to Wolf. He throws out Patterson. Furcal advancing to third on the sacrifice. Milwaukee's defense ranked 13th in the National League. Braun made his first error here last night. Morgan and Hart in the outfield. McGee, Betancourt, Hairston, and Fielder on the infield. Kataris and Randy Wolf. Kataris really the kind of the designated catcher for Randy Wolf. When Wolf pitches, he wants Kataris behind the plate.
sometimes you'll say sacrifice offense, whatever. You just have a more comfortable feel with a certain catcher.
The Brewers have pitched Albert Pujols very well in 2011.
We've also seen Albert kind of expand his zone, trying to maybe do a little too much.
And he does something there. Line drive to center. This might score for a call. The throw to the plate, not nearly in time. Sacrifice fly for Albert Pujols. He answers the sacrifice fly by Prince Fielder in the top of the first. 1-1 is our score. That ball was hit hard.
70th RBI for Albert. And we have a tie score. One pitch him away and got the ball up just a little bit. Just a rocket out there.
David Freese takes a strike on the outside corner. Freese with his 20th multi-hit game of the season here last night in his first game back after getting hit in the helmet. Grounds this one to McGee. It's like a sore arm throw across the diamond, but he takes care of his counterpart. We're tied at 1 through 1. Visit cardinals.com/homeplate to sleep at home plate in a Westin Heavenly bed during the 2011 Cardinals campout. Bid now for your chance to win, courtesy of the Westin St. Louis.
Doesn't get any better than that, does it?
You signed up yet, Al?
Well, I did go over to see Mr. Kaplan, GM of the Westin, today.
Good buddy of yours?
We're working on it. I want it to be a better relief.
You're not trying to influence winning this prize here, are you?
No, he helped me out with a charity, and provided some rooms for some people from out of town, and I'm reciprocating with some items for a charity he's helping out with. But he is a very generous gentleman.
Cardinals campout really has grown in its influence, and folks love that. Go to cardinals.com for more information. Jake Westbrook, a better start here to the top of the second. 1-2 on Jerry Hairston. Jerry Hairston Jr. came over from the Washington Nationals at the deadline, and he's always been a solid big league hitter. Versatile player in the lineup at second base.
If Flip, a little day of rest, work Hairston in there, and in the absence of Ricky Weeks.
Smooth hands of Rafael Furcal. He really makes it look easy.
Now you're starting to see Jake has 2 ground balls in a row, and that's when he can put up a bunch of zeros, and let's hope that's the case. Furcal's always had the gun. Backhand, take a little crow hop, and you get your reach in for your 4-seamer and straight across to a straight pitch over to Albert.
2000 Rookie of the Year.
It's kind of the final one of that string of Dodger Rookie of the Year.
He was actually with Atlanta.
I guess. Yeah, he was with Atlanta. That's right. And then I think the Dodgers started. Well, it was in the 90s, I guess, when you had
all those Dodgers.
Hollinsworth was kind of the final one, but Piazza and Nomo, Mondesi, Karros.
Dodgers really know how to develop players. At least they did. They're really struggling as an organization now. Got a feel for them. They're in disarray.
It's just
base hit to left. Alan Craig slides, can't come up with it. It'll be a double.
Going to be a double either way, but good to see Alan Craig feels well enough on his leg.
Nice to have him back in the lineup. Here's the pitch location.
He can't do that. That's above the belt. And when you do that, Alan tries to slide, and it just never stayed in his glove, but it's going to be a double all the way.
Randy Wolf swings at that very well.
Yeah, 5 career home runs.
Ground ball to second. Terrio throws him out.
And I like that when the manager has confidence in his pitcher that he'll get the guy over. It's his game anyway. That you don't just give up and out, because you might have hit that ball 5 feet left or right of Terrio, and maybe you got a base hit and an RBI.
Worth a shot. Like the move by Renicky. Also like the feature that we had in our open about the Cardinal starting pitchers. I thought that was just fun and so well done. Jaime Garcia took the brunt of that a bit, and outstanding feature produced by Dan Hyatt. He did a great job of pulling that together, and Jim Hayes voiced it for us, and it was, I would say, very fun.
Yeah, I mean, both of them did an excellent job, but Carpenter, I thought Carpenter was kind of hilarious. He really played up his role that you don't see him, kind of in that comic relief. It's always so serious with him.
It is at 7:15. Popped up on the infield. Watch out for the mound. David Freese one-hands it. holes. Bottom of the second inning, and we talked about pitchers and their prowess with the bat, Al. What do you make of this little full screen?
That you couldn't hit.
I knew that. Tell me something I don't know. Yeah, but I out-doubled you.
So what? You're almost twice as many at-bats at me also.
Tied you with home runs and only 6 RBIs behind you.
Yeah, I got you.
Those two were so funny in our feature. Carpenter said, I'm the one that appears to be the most hitterish. I think he made up a new word.
And speaking of hitterish, it's nice to see Alan Craig back, and we forget about his .336 average. 4 home runs, 23 RBIs, and how much time he has missed.
56 games with a fractured right knee. It happened on the 7th of June in Houston. He was trying to make a play down the right field line. Ran into a wall, and at the timeout we were thinking, well, maybe he'll be back the next day, because he didn't really know that anything was really amiss. And then further x-rays showed that there was actually a small fracture. And here's a look at the injury by Craig.
Now watch he comes up on that, actually hit the wall, and you know the netting almost like it's a wire mesh. And after, you know, he had laceration, everybody thought he started feeling better the next day. It did not. The swelling continued. It wasn't until they got off that road trip, got here at St. Louis, where they did some more tests and found the fracture. So he was out a long time, and he was really swinging the bat well.
Nice to have him back. He was hitting .244 in his rehab assignment. Likes to hit the ball the other way. He does it here. Harrison underhands to retire the Cardinal left fielder out number 1.
And you think about all the time that Craig's been gone, Free's been gone. You know, it's kind of amazing the Cardinals are where they are.
A Closet Tire Foxmo. Look at the underhand flip. Notice how he follows through with that, Al.
Yeah,
make sure he doesn't stop.
Real key is that follow through. To, you know, to have a firmness on that. I still would much rather have somebody throw it overhand.
Remind me of that little coaching point the next time I'm putting, would you? Yadier Molina, first at bat. Back pops up to Prince Fielder.
Yadi's at a 12-game hitting streak.
Just nice to have him back, though. You have Molina and Craig back in the lineup, and David Freese, actually all 3 of them, when you're missing Matt Holliday today. And Lance Berkman not playing because he just really struggles against Randy Wolf.
Yeah, he doesn't hit Randy Wolf, and he's been playing an awful lot, so it's a good day to pick him. But then when Holliday goes out, so not having 2 of your big 3, it's not the most desirable, but Lance will be ready for a pinch hitting appearance against one of the relievers.
Ryan Theriot getting the start at second base against the left-hander. Had the game-winning RBI in Sunday's contest in Miami. And he had a 20-game hitting streak earlier in the season. And he picks up a base hit here with 2 outs. Follow every Cards game through Game Connect on FoxSportsMidwest.com. As you watch the game on TV, you can join the conversation about the game on Twitter. You can track trends and stats. Game Connect, brought to you by Jack in the Box. Find it at FoxSportsMidwest.com. John Jay hits with 2 outs. Average at .297. Not in the original lineup. Patterson was going to play center. Craig right and Holliday in left. And John Jay inserted into the 8th spot. Late swing. Watch out.
He's 0 for 3 with a couple strikeouts against Randy Wolf. That was one of the reasons why he was not initially put in the lineup. But maybe with a little bit of experience, not much, or 3 at bats, maybe he has a little better idea of what he's going to see. They've been working him away.
Terrio with 4 stolen bases. And Wolf has him going back to the bag on his move home. Hasn't quite figured out what Randy Wolf is doing.
It's surprising because both of them are seasoned vets. It's not the first time they've seen each other's moves. I had the pleasure of presenting a plaque today to John Jay as our Heart and Hustle Award winner, given by the Alumni Association. And a very, very rich, deserving young man. And the nice thing was he appreciated it.
Well, he is a guy that is appreciative of the opportunity to play in the big leagues. He's very likable, good teammate. Always ready to play. John Jay. The 2-2. Line drive to left. It's going to get down, and it's fair. Braun gets to it in a hurry. Another 2-out hit for the Cardinals. Puts runners at second and third. Well placed.
It kind of felt like if he's going to have success, it's going to be to left field. But look at this ball coming off his bat, slicing. You know, a left-hander is going to slice into the corner. But that had a lot of English on it. Terrio chugging over to third. And two outs in our worst, well, by the starter's omission or admission.
The worst.
The worst hitting starter.
He didn't argue with it, did he?
No, but I think he's going to help himself. He's going to come up with a big, somehow, some way, a real flair.
About a line drive to right center. Morgan on the run.
Too much speed.
And he outruns the baseball. Cardinals with a couple of 2-out hits. They strand 2. 1-1 on to the third. Sports Midwest is brought to you by Taco Bell. Right now offering $20 admission vouchers to Live Nation concerts. Temperatures in the mid-70s. Perfect night for baseball. Downtown St. Louis. Game 2 of this 3-game series. The Cardinals lost here last night. And as Al said, they really need to win 2 out of 3 and then need to play well against the Colorado Rockies the rest of this homestand.
And let's face it, you know, every night, you know, you just really have to make a concentrated effort to win. And then you have to hope this Milwaukee team slows down someplace. They are playing with a great deal of confidence right now.
Mentioned there was a nice crowd here last night, Al, and packed house here again tonight. I want to remind folks that the Friday game against the Rockies is the normal 7:15 start time. Saturday has been moved to 6:15, and the Sunday game now is at 7:09.
And lots of seats available.
And the high strike. Nyjer Morgan is retired. Strikeout number 1 for Westbrook.
It's not exactly where you want him to live, up in the zone, but you know, at least that is up above. It tempts him, Nyjer, to try and swing at it, and he gets the strikeout. But preferably, you always want him to keep the ball down, have hitters just pound it into the dirt surface.
Important inning for Jake Westbrook, facing Braun, then Fielder. Braun had a single, one of 2 Brewers hits in the first inning, and Westbrook really struggled in that first. Fortunately able to get out of it with a 5-4-3 double play. Started by David Freese. There's a strike on the outside corner, 1-1.
And that's why, you know, Dave Duncan really wants to have this type of pitcher, because even if they'll give up some hits, but they always have the ability to get 2 outs with 1 pitch.
Ryan Braun, 4-time All-Star. Really a complete player. He's had a nice year defensively. Came up as an infielder, made a lot of errors at third base. They put him in the outfield. Made his first error here last night. But he runs well. High batting average, good power. Good with runners in scoring position. He's really the whole package. 2-2.
I think now that you're, like you said, playing left field, he was a liability. He drove in a lot of runs and then let in a lot of runs at third, but much more at ease in the outfield. I've seen outfielders go through the entire season not making an error only because they never got close to a questionable ball. But that's not Ryan Braun.
Do a little better job these days of tracking the defensive range of players. There's a pitch, top of the strike zone, called a ball.
Yeah, this umpire really, by box tracks, is having a rough night. I guess Brooke.
So that's walk number 3 for Jake Westbrook. And for a sinker ball pitcher, you expect him to walk 1 or 2 guys in a game, but this year the walks have been up some. And again, he'll be looking for a double play with Prince Fielder. Strike on the outside corner.
Look at Fox tracks how far outside that was, but we don't complain on strikes.
I guess they even out.
Yeah, but it's totally confusing to the batter. You know.
And to the pitcher.
Sure. And then you don't want to see it change the course of the game. Should be called a strike also.
Boy, he's struggling, isn't he? 1-1 the count to Prince Fielder.
Maybe Yachty go out there and make sure that Westbrook doesn't get upset and let the umpire's strike zone affect him. You know, just keep on battling.
That's a good move by Yachty or Molina.
It's really amazing, you know, for a young catcher, you know, how many times he picks up little things and what his pitchers are doing, but little times like that, just go out and do a little calming, even when it's a veteran pitcher.
Good lead for Braun, not going. This is way off the plate, 2-1. How many hours worth of meetings would you suspect that Yadier Molina has been in Dave Duncan over the year?
Probably one meeting would probably be a year's worth in my era. As they're so extensive with going over and scouting reports.
certainly picked up a lot from Dave Duncan, and Yachty certainly learned a lot about the tools of the trade behind Mike Matheny for years.
Also his brothers. And then his dad was a great influence of how to play the game.
There goes Braun. It's a strike. Here's a throw from Molina, and he is out at second base. No, he's safe. Furcal did not hold on to the ball. It gets away, and Braun steals his 21st base.
That's a shame because he's out. But here's the value of sliding feet first. You know, sometimes the lower legs make contact with that glove, and you just knock the ball out of the glove. But Furcal had it easily.
Furcal was showing the umpire a ball that he didn't have. 3-2 is lined to right field, and this is fair and into the corner. Braun will score. 2-1 Milwaukee.
Second RBI for Prince tonight. One thing we know, left-handed hitters, they're usually low ball hitters. You got to be a little careful. He's got 87 RBIs now.
So tough when you go through the middle of the Brewers order. 4 hits now for Milwaukee. Casey McGee fouls the first pitch back, and that one in the heart of the plate, but at least it was down.
Cardinals will play 18 times against Milwaukee. So far, the Cards trail the season series 3-7. Tied 2-2 here.
Ball gets away from Molina. Fielder advances to third, and another rough inning for Jake Westbrook is brewing here.
It's a wild pitch charged to Westbrook. You can see the low one right there. Tries to get over and smother it. Doesn't know where it is kind of just kicked towards the visitor's dugout.
McGee walked in the first. Infield in for the Cardinals. Another pitch in the dirt smothered by Molina. Furcal and Terrio started back at normal position, and as Westbrook came set, both charged. They back up again. We'll see what they do on the 2-1 pitch from Westbrook. Here they come.
When you do that, you know, middle infield is charging in. You kind of charge in to the point, but at some point you've got to get set and get ready to field the ball.
You'd think your range would be diminished if you don't stop.
Absolutely. I mean, it's cut down on your left lateral movement, and you know, you're just hoping for the line drive, but you're also hoping for distraction to the hitter.
The 2-2. Low again, smothered by Molina. And we'll get a new baseball. Westbrook really trying to bear down on Casey McGee, who has hurt the Cardinals in the last couple of series.
Oh, on this season, Casey McGee, 342, 3 home runs, 7 RBIs.
56 pitches already for Jake Westbrook, working in the third.
It's been part of the problem as that pitch count has gotten up. Has been lately working 6+ innings, or going at least 6 innings. Change up.
Ground ball to third. Smothered by Freese, and he throws out McGee. Nice play going to his left. David Freese saves a run.
Well, you're going to have to rely, talk about a ground ball pitcher. He's not a strikeout pitcher. So David goes to his left, gets the ball, checks the runner, make sure he's staying put at third, and then throws out McGee. 2 outs in the inning. Still have the time to escape.
And escape is exactly what Jake Westbrook did in the first inning. After the bases were loaded 2 different times. Gave up just 1 run there. What a play by Molina there. Wow, on the backhand.
Yes. Talk about putting your catcher in a tough spot. Look at how far that ball's in, almost out of the left-handed side of the batter's box. The only thing he could do is reach out there and try and stab it. Mad at himself. He just made a heck of a play, Yachty.
Very athletic play by Yadier Molina. The 1-0. He has a base hit to left field. 3-1 Brewers. Cardinals are going to have to fight this feeling. It seems as if it's a 10-1 game right now. All the trouble that Westbrook has been in. Cardinals just trail by 2.
Yeah, another ball that's up, and when you think about it, really Fielder and Braun really haven't done much damage. Fielder's got 2 RBIs here in this game, but the Cardinal pitchers are allowing the everybody around them to beat them.
Jerry Hairston bounced out his first plate appearance.
And both staffs have done a good job of containing the big bats, but Milwaukee's done a much better job of containing everybody else and not letting the lesser hitters, and a lot of that is inexperience, let them beat them.
Jams Hairston. Tough play for Craig, but he makes it on the run. Brewers tack on 2. Ron Renicke's happy. For Call, Patterson, and Pujols when we come back. Fans to receive a Cardinals team banner, compliments of Coke Zero and Walmart. Show your Cardinals spirit by displaying it in your home or office. To ensure your tickets to this game, visit Cardinals.com. Bottom of the third, 3-1 Brewers. Top of the order for the Cardinals. Rafael Furcal doubled and scored in the first. Furcal, Patterson, and Pujols. And you just don't want Randy Wolf to start to settle down.
Put the pressure on him. Not the kind of guy that's going to go real deep in this game, but he usually gives his team a chance to win.
The 2-1 fouled off.
Part of the problem is your goal is to knock out the starter, but they have a pretty deep bullpen, especially with the two closers at the end.
Very solid in that department. The Cardinals are one bullpen pitcher light today. Lance Lynn was put on the 15-day disabled list. That's how Alan Craig was activated.
People would kid me, when I talk about a potential roster move, and I said, don't worry about it. Those things seem to take care of themselves.
They really do.
And over the years, by the time you're going to make a roster move, somebody gets hurt and it's already made for you.
Hairston throws out for a call, 1 out for the Redbirds.
And that was the case with Lance Lynn, and they knew they're going to activate Craig today. Didn't know who was going to be sent down, but then when he got hurt, it made it real easy.
Probably some other options. You would have assumed it would have been a player, maybe Tony Cruz, the third catcher, but you don't want to tell him and then all of a sudden say,
exactly.
No, we're just kidding.
A lot of times the player knows or has got an idea, but I talked to Lance Lynn today, and
should be out number 2, and it is.
And he said he's sore, but he didn't seem to think it was that serious. Let's hope that's the case.
So many people here at the ballpark still love it when Albert comes to the plate. No matter the score, doesn't matter who's in town, situation, inning, something about getting a chance to watch Albert hit.
For 11 seasons, he's put up the most prolific numbers for anyone to start a career, and to do it for 11 seasons, that gets your attention.
Swing and a miss. Good cutter from Randy Wolf in on the hands of Albert.
See, that's the pitch we talked about in the scouting report. The cutter coming in. He did not use it in Milwaukee, so he kind of felt like he'd use it more here, and also said you've got to stay away from the high fastball.
8-9-1 for Milwaukee here, top of the 4th inning. Brewers lead 3-1. George Kataris doubled in the 2nd inning. And he bats here against Jake Westbrook, who's still trying to get his command. Westbrook struggled in the 1st through 24 pitches, gave up a run, couple of hits, couple of walks, and he also struggled in the 3rd inning. So maybe he'll be good in the even innings. Working in the 4th. And we've mentioned it a couple times already, Al, but just really an outstanding night for baseball here. It almost has this September feel to it.
Yeah, as hot as it was, I guess, the last couple weeks, this is a real change for everybody, and I'm sure everybody's quite adjusted to it, or thinks they're wondering if they're going to get tricked next week.
Fans certainly enjoying the weather here at the ballpark. Come on out all week long. Brewers, then the Rockies. There's a strike at the knees. Strikeout number 2 for Jake Westbrook.
At the bottom, just fall out of the sinker. You know, it just starts out about bell tie, and then it just falls out there. His problem is if something he throws starts out around the letters, it ends up above the belt. And that's not what he wants. You want his pitches to have such tremendous movement that they start around the thigh and end up below the knee.
And then start enticing it to be a little bit lower, maybe enticing them to swing at pitches that are out of the zone.
Well, that's what happens. You know, you see strike after strike, and they know they're down there, and then they, like you say, they get lulled into swinging at pitches off the plate.
Jake likes to work quickly. See less and less pitchers in the game doing that. And there's such a thing. Al is working too quickly.
Yeah. And that's when you have to know yourself enough to slow down.
'71 pitches for Westbrook. No decision his last outing against the Marlins. He's 0-1 with a 2.84 run average against Milwaukee lifetime.
That's in 3 starts, but obviously with a good ERA, he's pitched effectively.
And Al, he's been a better second half pitcher too.
Correct.
Line drive to left, and it's cut off by Alan Craig before it goes to the wall. A base hit for Randy Wolf. Hit number 6 for Milwaukee.
And the pitch up a little bit. So the ball up, and he goes with it. Nice job by Alan Craig to cut it off, hold him to a single. I think we can say you see good signs that he's running well and fully healed from the fractured knee.
Happy to have him back. "54 games out is essentially a third of a season. That's a long time. Part of the reason he had to have so many at-bats in his minor league rehab before Tony decided to activate him at the big league level. And that was today. Takes the place of Lance Lynn, who goes on the 15-day disabled list.
Well, they said too he was really swinging the bat, but line drives, but not getting any breaks, wasn't getting any hits. When you've been out that long a time and you're not guaranteed to play every day, you're better off playing every day at the minor league level. Then his rehab assignment came to an end.
3-0 to Corey Hart. Danger of walk number 4 for Jake Westbrook. And you mentioned how he struggled, and the Cardinals have struggled with some of the, say, lesser Brewer hitters, although they certainly have a good lineup. The problem with that is you get them on base, now you got to face the middle of the lineup with guys on base.
Right. Four
straight walks Corey Hart for the second time. Every Sunday during, actually 2 hours prior to the game, you can enjoy frozen treats, win prizes in the Ford Plaza, courtesy of North Star. For ticket information, visit Cardinals.com.
Dave Duncan out to remind Westbrook we need a little bit more. You can't walk these people, give free passes. You're a pitch to contact type guy, and we'll take the chance that if you throw your pitch and it's in the strike zone, you'll get good results, the ground balls.
Certainly have the sense so far in this ball game that the momentum is still in the Brewers camp. They got off on the right foot with a run in the first inning. Made Westbrook work very hard in that inning.
Kind of taking the crowd right out of this game.
And that's part of it. Ground ball to second. Terrio to Furcal to first. Double play. They doubled up Niger Morgan. Good advice, Dave Duncan. Goes out to talk to Westbrook, and it works. Well done. Coverage begins with a preseason special. The Buccaneers head to Kansas City to take on the Chiefs. Coverage begins on Friday, August 12th at 7 p.m. in high definition only on Fox. Looking forward to the football season beginning. Also looking forward to September and October baseball. Most people I know are hoping that the Cardinals are involved in that October baseball.
Well, baseball.
Yeah, I bet.
It can be.
They have an opportunity, don't they?
They sure do, but it appears that their only shot is to defeat the team they're playing right now. They're going to have to take care of themselves.
Breaking pitch, grounded up the middle. David Freese is 0 for 2. 5 straight retired by Randy Wolf. And as Alice said, the Cardinals are just 3-7 against the Brewers so far this season. 8 games left, including tonight's game. Milwaukee has particularly played well here in St. Louis. Since 2008, the Brewers are now 20-9. Here at Busch Stadium. And that is very, very surprising.
Yeah, I mean, it just showed that statistic yesterday, and it snuck up on me.
0-1 to Allen Craig. Hands low, grounds it to third. Long throw for McGee. Retires Alan Craig for out number 2. And these are the kind of innings that Jake Westbrook looks for.
Yeah, what he needs to do and get deeper into this ball game, but just at every inning, it's almost like he's, when you talk about a pitcher laboring, well, that's kind of what Jake's doing.
A lot of strikes.
Not very economical.
Yadier Molina homered off of Randy Wolf on the 6th of May. He has 8 homers on the season, 40 RBIs, and Al has mentioned the 12-game hitting streak that's intact. Served his 5-game suspension, and he is available. And many folks have asked along the way, when you have a suspended player, you are not allowed to replace him on your roster.
Correct.
So the Cardinals were playing a player down for 5 days. Didn't seem to bother them in Florida. The Cardinals took all 4 games against the Marlins, but they lost the opener against the Brewers here last night and trailing here.
And there was a great atmosphere last night. It really felt like a playoff atmosphere, and completely different today. Even more urgency for the Cardinals to win.
But that first inning really,
yeah, it took
sales out.
Well, it took the crowd right out of it. You know, they're wanting to do whatever they can to get back in it. Maybe Yadi can provide some kind of a little shot of adrenaline for him.
Good hitter's pitch here, and he lines it in the left center field gap, and the hit streak is now 13. Like to hit 3 and 1. Yadier Molina, 2-out base hit. It's a fastball to his liking.
He likes to throw a lot of pitches up, but this one maybe gets it down a little bit. It's up, but a real nice level swing by Yadi. And now a 13-game hitting streak. Terrio can't help out. Ugla has a hit tonight, so he's reached 31. It's the longest hitting streak of the season.
Passes Andre Ethier, who had a 30-game streak in the National League.
And he didn't waste any time with an RBI single in the first.
Just 1 for 6 yesterday. He had an infield hit. I wonder if Joe DiMaggio ever had an infield hit. Ground ball to the right side. It's going to be a tough play. Harrison's going to have to glove it, and he does. Flips it to fielder to retire Ryan Terrio. Cardinals strand another runner here in the 4th inning. Nice defensive play by Jerry Hairston. 3-1 Brewers. Missouri Division of Tourism. Go to visitmo.com to start planning your next Missouri getaway. Welcome to the Route 66 Drive-In Theater in Carthage. This is the last original drive-in theater named after the Mother Road, Route 66. The screen is actually 96 feet wide, 44 feet tall. making it one of the largest remaining outdoor screens in the country. Movies are shown there every Friday, Saturday, and Sunday. Brings you back, doesn't it?
A few years ago, I asked Danny if have you ever knew about a drive-in theater?
Don't tell me he said no.
No, he said he knew about them, but man, that used to be the thing, especially when we were in our teenage years.
We might not want to know much more about that, Al. Middle of the order for the Brewers here in the 5th. Braun, Fielder, and McGee. 3-1 Milwaukee. Jake Westbrook has labored here tonight. 78 pitches through 4 innings. A good pitch count per inning. 13, 14 pitches.
I'm kind of surprised where, you know, they're saying like 14.4 is right around the tops. It just seems awfully high. This goes to show you where guys just picking instead of just really attacking the strike zone. But I think it's also a byproduct of the strike zone becoming so much smaller.
Agreed. Ground ball to the left side. Charging. David Freese on the run. High throw. Albert handled it. Good start to the 5th for Jake Westbrook. It's time for our AT&T trivia question. Who are the only pair of Cardinals, I know this one out, to finish a season in the top 3 in the National League home run race?
Okay, well, I didn't know this one.
I know it because I read it earlier.
You cheated.
I did.
Workman and Pujols currently are 1-2 in the home run department right now.
Ground ball. Terrio playing shallow right field. Throws out Fielder.
So far, so good this inning.
Fielder taking a long time to get back to the Brewers dugout. Cardinals have played some long games in the last week, Al.
Yeah, I trust me, I know.
You've been there. 7 games in a row over 3 hours in a game that you would normally think a nice crisply played game would be 2 hours and 20 minutes, 2.5 hours.
Right. That's what was 4 hours and almost 4.5. Last night was almost 4 hours. 2-1 game that was almost 3.5 hours. But there's been 3 other teams in the last week that have had longer games than the Cardinals. Good inning.
3 ground balls, 8 pitches. Couldn't have been much better for Jake Westbrook. Cardinals game live or on demand on your computer and your favorite devices. Visit Cardinals.com to order and get more details. MLB.tv, baseball everywhere. Got baseball right here at Busch Stadium. 3-1 ball game. Cardinals trying to even the series. Are going to have to find some offense against Randy Wolf. 1 pitch, 1 out as John Jay bounces out.
Nice job by Fielder to stay on the bag.
Jake Westbrook has settled in a bit after a very rocky start. He gave up a run in the first, 2 more in the third. Really had control issues. Was missing by quite a bit. But he settled down some, but so is Randy Wolf.
And you know, he could get on a roll where he could eat up 2 or 3 more innings until his spot would come around again, and hopefully be a scoring opportunity, and Cardinals at least get him even.
That 8-pitch inning certainly helped him.
Yes.
One-two to Westbrook. Curveball misses. There's that slow curveball. Wolf will change speeds with his breaking pitches. Fastball is hit to right. Corey Hart makes the play. This date in history brought to you by Schnucks. Do you remember a year ago this scene? Brandon Phillips and Yadier Molina. And we know what followed.
And look at, and that's the funniest part, and still is. Jeff Suppan ended up at the bottom of the pile, and trust me, that's not where you want to be. And Scott Rowland's a real peacemaker in that scene, but it took a lot of energy to be a peacemaker.
And of course, the worst part of that is what happened to Jason LaRue.
Cueto, in my mind, still got off very, very lightly.
I would agree. Yeah. 2 outs in the Cardinal fifth. Amazing that was a year ago, Al, and right around that time the Cardinals, not long after that, went into their tailspin.
Well, they went into first place when they left Cincinnati, came home, everything seemed like it was perfect to make a real September charge, and they just collapsed.
Furcal pops out. 1-2-3 inning for the Cardinals. Moving right along. Is brought to you by Kia Motors. To learn more, visit kia.com. And by the new Jumbo Breakfast Platter for just $2.99 at Jack in the Box at participating restaurants. Nice look at Busch Stadium from the outside. And we bring you inside one of my favorite ballparks in all the land. 2006, Al, and that was a pretty magical year for the Cardinals, and they're trying to get back to that magic again.
Absolutely.
Corey Patterson retires Betancourt.
A little too much time since 2006.
I would agree.
See the ball hit to the right side, and the pitcher has a responsibility to get over to that right side, and also a survey if Albert's going after it, be at the bag in case the ball back up, whatever.
Yeah, it looks like the Milwaukee Brewers are okay with Jake Westbrook throwing a lot of innings in this game because they're starting to swing at the first pitch here, and they're allowing his pitch count to stay low enough to go perhaps through 7.
Yeah, sometimes you just don't understand why teams don't, work a pitcher
who's on the ropes. And
go up there and take a strike. You're leading. Get his pitch count up.
Ground ball to third. Like Freese might have lost that one in the lights.
Absolutely, the way he turned his head. Indication that that ball got into the bank of lights and kind of blinded him for a second, but he said, here it's where it was.
Strange to say you could actually lose a ball in the lights, but I think that's what happens here.
And watch his head. See, it's stayed with it long enough, and then he turned his head to the side because he couldn't see it.
You can certainly understand him being a little gun shy too on a ball around his head. George Kataris bats with 2 outs. Special happy birthday to Thurell Hanna from Enid, Oklahoma, celebrating his 85th birthday today. Thank you for watching Cardinals baseball.
Ooh, good pitch.
A nice break to it, didn't it?
Yeah, but just the location, tied him up inside.
One hopper to Terrio. He wasn't sure whether to back up or charge it, so he kind of did both. Backed up, then charged it. Threw out Kataris. 7 straight for Westbrook. Cardinal fans in the 1138th Transportation Company were deployed by the Missouri National Guard to Afghanistan. On September 2nd, Fox Sports Midwest and the Cardinals will send them a taste of home. The 11:38 will watch the Cardinals game live in Afghanistan, and Fox Sports Midwest will welcome them with messages from home. Watch This One's For You September 2nd on Fox Sports Midwest.
You haven't been a party of one of those telecasts.
Only on the post game.
Yeah, and I mean, that's just a really fun, very special time.
But I have always enjoyed those telecasts.
Sometimes I get a little emotional.
I know you do. That hits home for you, Al, and you do a great job with them, and we look forward to that September 2nd. Corey Patterson. Cardinals still looking for offense. Not yet. He lines out to the shortstop Betancourt, out number 1 in the 6th inning, and brings in Albert. Albert had a sacrifice fly in the 1st inning, and now he hit that ball extraordinarily hard. That drove in the lone Cardinal run, but he did not look good his second at bat.
You're absolutely right. His second at bat might have been one of his weakest at bats we ever seen, and really swung at a couple balls and really chased that high delivery that just so atypical for Albert. And he's just a little bit out of funk, and you only can believe he's trying to do too much.
Berkman not in the lineup because he does not hit Randy Wolf very well, and Berkman certainly a better hitter from the left side, but only 3 hits and 30 at-bats against Wolf lifetime, so he's not playing. And Matt Holliday a late scratch because of a injury while lifting weights. Ground ball to short. Low throw. Handled by Fielder. Cardinals are pleased to offer fan-friendly values throughout the 2011 season. If you're looking for ways to save some cash or find great value at the ballpark, make sure to check out the Fan Value Corner at Cardinals.com/value.
Florida, maybe once or twice might have pitched around Albert, but it's for the most part this entire year, people have been challenging.
Prince Fielder leads the National League in intentional walks with just 18. And there have been years where we've seen the sluggers in the National League with really high numbers of intentional walks.
Albert was usually lead it, 2 to 3 times that amount.
Teams won't do it as much against Fielder if McGee continues to get hot. Fastball inside. He backs Freeze off the plate. He's bounced out twice.
Wolf will move that ball around and change speeds, as you said. And the cutter in on the right-handers. There it is.
You mentioned with all the hoopla last night about the pitches into Albert and then Braun being hit by Jason Mott that the Brewers actually last in the National League in hitting batters, but Randy Wolf has hit 10.
Yeah,
now the second highest total.
Right, Randy. And it's not like he's headhunting, but
no.
Part of his forte is pitching inside, so sometimes those cutters will go a little further in than that you would like, and the result is you hit somebody, but it's not intentional. It's not leaving over the middle of the plate for a home run.
Another ground ball. He's been busy. 3 up, 3 down for the Cardinals. On to the 7th. With a Budweiser beer stein, the first in an exclusive collection brought to you by the Cardinals and Budweiser. It's available to 25,000 fans ages 21 and up Saturday, September 3rd. For tickets, visit cardinals.com. Jake Westbrook, pitch number 95 to Randy Wolf. 9-1-2 for Milwaukee. 2 8-pitch innings for Jake Westbrook, and he finds himself pitching in the 7th inning of the game. I'm not sure in the first he thought he'd still be in this long.
Well, he was hoping he'd still be in this long, but come on, Alan Craig. Nice catch. I believe Randy Wolf can swing the bat.
Lines out to left. He's 1 for 3. 8 straight now for Westbrook.
I'm going to bat off a left-hander. That ball's going to slice away from him. So a nice play by Alan Craig in his first game back after a long stint on the disabled list for the fractured knee.
We've given you some numbers throughout the telecast that show how well the Brewers have played since the All-Star break. They've been good. They've been good against the Cardinals. There's a bounce from short. Hart's retired. The one number we haven't given you is their record in the division. Brewers 32-18. Pitch count improving for Westbrook. 32-18 against the Central. So they are beating teams in the division. The Cardinals are just 3 games over 500, 26-23.
And in order to win your division, you should dominate inside it, and that's what they're doing. And Cardinals are not. It's hard to beat the team you're chasing when you can't beat them head to head.
Ground ball to second. Tough hop handled by Terrio. Cardinals infield has been stellar here tonight. Time to stretch. Cardinals trail by 2. The Cardinals are developing quite a rivalry. A lot of stars at the ballpark when the Brewers are in town. They can hit and they can pitch. And one of the best closers in the National League, and John Axford. What's on tap brought to you by Budweiser. Tomorrow, the finale of the series ends at 6:30 right here on Fox Sports Midwest.
Is that 30 straight save conversions for their closer, Axford?
33 on the season, 30 straight.
It's a new Milwaukee record.
And you just as soon not see him in this game. Ground ball foul off the bat of Alan Craig.
It's getting late. You better do something right now.
Cardinals with just 1 hit in the last 4 innings. Pitch count at 73 for Randy Wolf. He's really commanded the strike zone. Simple delivery. Slow curveball misses high. 1-1. Alan Craig, I mentioned Al had a nice batting average before he got hurt. He's making a lot of contributions. I remember the pinch hit home run he hit off of Tim Lincecum. Big moment in his year.
Sure, he went to Cal Berkeley.
Fly ball to right. Out number 1.
Extended his hitting streak to 13 games in his first game back after his 5-game suspension.
During that hitting streak, batting over 400.
He's got the highest average by a Cardinal since the All-Star break. His average up to 294.
Yachty's had a little extra rest this year than some other years. Tony's given him more time off. Of course, the suspension really wasn't part of that plan, but maybe that's helped him offensively.
Well, I think there's no doubt. And that was part of the game plan also, to take a little pressure off his knees. Last 2 seasons in September, you know, they shut him down because the knees were barking so much. So the game plan going in was to have a more reliable, or to have another catcher that could take the workload.
Two to Molina. Another fly ball to right.
But these pitchers are on nice little rolls.
Molina's hit in the 4th inning. The only hit the Cardinals have had since the 2nd. And they only have 4 hits in this game against Randy Wolf. Wolf in his career 122 and 105.
And pretty reliable. You know, I mean, you talk a guy about the 4th or 5th pitcher in your rotation, you're not going to find one much better.
It was nice to have a lefty out there too.
Sure.
No lefties in the bullpen. Talk about how good this bullpen is, but I think that's a problem for Milwaukee, not having a left-hander. Or is that overrated?
Well, yeah, I think it's overrated. You know, I mean, they had some reliable guys, but you know, they end up getting hurt.
Mitch Stetter on the disabled list. Manny Parra.
But I mean, Parra was more of a starter type, but
doesn't really look like they need a left-hander reliever right now. Pad game recap. Jake Westbrook settled down, 7 innings, giving up all 3 Milwaukee runs. Randy Wolf, both of them have retired 10 straight batters. Prince Fielder has a couple of RBIs, including a sacrifice fly in the first inning.
Now the good news is Jake has settled down and retired 10 in a row, but the problem is so is his counterpart. And they have a 3-1 lead.
Good news, bad news, isn't it?
Yeah.
I tell you, I really like the pitching matchup for tomorrow's game. Chris Carpenter and Giovanni Gallardo. Carpenter will be looking for his 8th victory. Gallardo's 13-7 now for Milwaukee.
Well, Milwaukee went out and they knew they had Gallardo, but then they supplemented that with Greinke and Markham, and then they had they had their Randy Wolf, and after that they're pretty in good shape. They had the offense, and now they've added strength to their bullpen, and their bullpen's even better.
One hop smash to Freeze. Always nice to retire Ryan Braun. He's bounced out twice in a row now to David. He's 1 for 3.
Said Cardinal pitchers have done a pretty good job of containing Braun and Fielder, but not enough outs from the supporting cast. Fielder does have a couple RBIs today.
We mentioned the last couple of innings, Al, the low pitch count for Jake Westbrook. Strike 1 to Prince. Last 3 innings, he's thrown 8 pitches, and 6. That's a total of 22, and he threw 24 in the first inning alone.
Yeah, I mean, just goes to show you, just. Last 3 full seasons, his ERA dramatically has gone down in the second half. And that was coming in tonight. But he has just pitched so much better. And I really think that there's, this is more indicative of the pitcher that what Jake is.
Right.
Is what we've seen the last 4 innings.
Let's be careful with this guy. Prince Fielder can change a game in a hurry. Brewers already have a 2-run lead. Just has such good plate coverage. Not really sure where to pitch him. Full count now. I mentioned the Jake Westbrook that we're used to seeing, the guy that really knows what he's doing. A 14-game winner in 04 and then a 15-game winner in 05 and 06 with Cleveland. And he loses Fielder.
5th walk of the night, but he got a double play the last time he walked hard. Got Nigel Morgan in double play, a little easier with Casey McGee.
The Brewers have their first base runner since the 4th. Both pitchers have been outstanding in the middle innings. There's a strikeout in the A's, and that's the pitch he was not getting early in the game.
Well, and he struggled when he wasn't getting it. Boggs is warming up for the Cardinals.
Westbrook will be the second batter in the bottom of the 8th. And got to wonder how severe the issue is with Matt Holliday in terms of the injury that's kept him out of the lineup. And again, we don't know a lot about it other than that he had some kind of strain while he was lifting weights and wasn't able to start this game.
To my knowledge, I can't remember seeing him on the bench.
Casey McGee strikes out, doesn't believe it, on the outside corner, and we want to send out some very special wishes to one of our favorite Cardinal fans, Chris Rowan. I know that she is watching tonight, and she is a part of the Cardinal family, a big part of the Cardinal family. and we want to wish her well. As well as Melody Yunt.
Yeah.
We know she'll be back here soon. She works in the public relations department here with the Cardinals. And we'll be happy to have her back.
We want her back because she has a better win percentage on the road than Brian.
Brian Bartow is the PR director here. And I'll tell him you said that. He probably knows that. It's his job to tell you that.
Melanie's told him.
Oh, okay. Okay. Betancourt's 1 for 3, singled in the 3rd inning. Ground ball foul. Betancourt had a big home run in one of the games in Milwaukee. I believe he hit that off of Jaime Garcia. And it was a 3-run home run in the 5th inning of that game, and Garcia just fell apart. Cardinals ended up winning that game in 11. Another ground ball foul. Take a look at the delivery of Jake Westbrook.
He just works quick, just lifts that leg up, just falls forward. Tries to stay on top, get that ball downward action.
Not much follow through with his backside.
Not really. One of the reasons why he fields his position so well. You know, he gets in a fielding position real quickly.
Think of some pitchers as putting more stress on their shoulder and others on their elbow, and I think of a sinker ball guy as really an elbow guy because he's really turning the ball over at the last minute. And Westbrook does not really get a lot of extension with his shoulder. It's more that he's just flipping the ball.
And he's a Tommy John, successful story.
And a successful inning. Jake Westbrook has done a nice job of giving the Cardinals a chance. West is brought to you by Smooth Bush Beer and easy drinking Bush Light. By Bank of America, where ATM deposits are as easy as an infield fly. No deposit slip, no envelope. With Bank of America, member FDIC. And by AT&T. I am not familiar with that.
It's right over here on Market
spot
Street,
in St. Louis.
Some of the.
Have to drive by that on the way home. I thought I knew St. Louis. Is that new, Al?
It's been there for a couple of years, but some of the modern sculpture, some of it I don't understand.
Put me in that boat too. John Jay leads it off for the Cardinals, 8th inning, and they are running out of chances. He's 4 hits on the night against Randy Wolf. He's been outstanding. Cardinals don't have a base runner, or have not had a base runner since the 4th. Slow curve, hit on the ground to Fielder. He takes it himself. So the night is through for Jake Westbrook. 8 solid innings for Jake. And after a rough start, he really did put in a fine performance.
Oh, couldn't do much better than his 8 innings work. Tony Cruz will pinch hit for him. Zepsinski is warming up for the Cardinals. Rodriguez for Milwaukee.
Tony Cruz 2 for 11 as a pinch hitter. He is hitless in his last 16 at-bats, but not now. I couldn't even get that sentence out.
I was going to say that those 2 other pinch hits seem like they've come pretty recently.
Our Nissan drive of the game delivered by Tony Cruz as he snaps his hitless streak. And nice to have a base runner.
Yeah, at the right time.
Top of the order. Rafael Furcal has scored the only Cardinal run. That came in the 1st inning.
Cardinals scored that run and evened it up 1-1.
Talked about it, Al, but Wolf does a really good job of going to both sides of the plate. It's worked well with the catcher Kataris, really his personal catcher. The 1-1 ground to the left side. McGee to second for 1. Quick turn, and they double up. Rafael Furcal. Cardinals hit is wasted. We're going to the 9th. Cardinals still trail. Telecast Missouri Lottery's Cardinals Live post-game show. Jim Hayes will be hosting tonight, and we will break down this Cardinal game, win or lose. As we go to the 9th inning, the Cardinals trailing by 2. New pitcher is the lefty, Mark Zepchinski.
I'm just surprised a little bit we haven't seen more of him.
Yes. A couple of chances to use him. I think there were some folks that thought he should have been in the game last night, although I think I understood the logic of Tony. When you have an extra inning contest, you've got to kind of use your pitchers that are going to go multiple innings first.
His 5th appearance for the Cardinals. Most impressive one was his debut. He went 2 innings and struck out, I believe 4. First inning he had some left-handers to deal with and sailed through them, and then the next inning they were all right-handers, and was 6 up, 6 down. He was a real effective left-handed specialist for Toronto before coming over to St. Louis. Held lefties to a 164 average with just 3 extra base hits on the year.
Facing Jerry Hairston. There's a line drive to right, tough play, and it won't be made by the right fielder Patterson. It drops in front of him. Leadoff hit for Milwaukee as they lead 3-1. And the Cardinals in danger here, Al, of dropping the first 2 in this series. High hopes coming into this series. The Cardinals had trailed Milwaukee by 3 games. And in some ways the thought was, well, if you win 2 out of 3, you'll be happy. The Cardinals have work to do to make that happen. A lot of work. Some numbers since the trade. Zepchinski, 5 games, has not given up a run. Dotel's been more good than bad. Francisco Rodriguez in 11 games, low earned run average, although you know deep in his heart he'd like to close.
Josh Wilson's going to pinch hit for Kataris.
Interesting move here to take out the personal catcher.
And you almost wonder if Randy Wolf is out too. They have such good, K-Rod for the 8th inning, and we're already into the 9th. So I mean, you got your Axford, your closer, to close out this game. Would they give Wolf the chance?
He is standing in the on-deck circle, but I agree with you. I don't think he's going to go back out. Wilson's up there to bunt. Last sacrifice bunt. Well, that was a while ago.
He's only been with the Brewers for 36 games, 9 starts, adding 275 as a Brewer. Released by Seattle at the end of spring training and signed with Arizona.
Bunt goes foul.
And he was claimed on off waivers from Arizona May 25th, and that's how he ended up with Milwaukee.
He's trying to count the consonants on the back of the jersey of Mark Zepchinski. There's a lot of them.
Yes, sir. That's why one of his nicknames is Scrabble.
6, 7, 8, because the Y goes both ways, so we're going to say 8 consonants. There's a bunt back to Zepchinski, doesn't even look to second and throws wild, but Albert gets back on the base and the umpire says he missed it. That was Greg Gibson who said that Albert did not step on the base, and Albert's got an argument, and so does Tony La Russa.
I thought he kicked it the first time, but then he complicated it by going again. So the sacrifice and then E1 with a high throw. He's saying he got the corner of the bag, and we'll see from this angle. There's him off the bag. And then he touches it, clearly touches it. Clearly touches the bag, and I think Tony's been tossed.
Tony is irate about this call, and I don't blame him.
You know, it's such a big series, and you know, you're already trailing. It's late.
This could be a big out in this game. The Cardinals trail by 2, and they can't afford to trail by any more than that.
That's right. You know, so
they're giving you an out, and you think you've got it. Now, you did not make a very good throw. Zepchinski made it a tough play for Albert, but Albert came back. Tony's not done yet. That's Jerry Davis.
Jerry Davis, who's the crew chief. Rich Rieker, St. Louis, and umpire supervisor, is here as Major League Baseball wanted a lot of eyes, not hoping for fireworks, but prepared if there were.
Well, I wonder what those eyes think of that call.
Well, I know the fans are at least supportive of Tony and his argument, and as we saw in the replay, Tony is right. Greg Gibson, you know, I mean, they call it the way they see it, the way they think, but you know, they're not machines. They're wrong. LaCroix, the catcher, is warming up, and Dave Duncan going out and signaling to the bullpen. So Boggs will be coming in.
And while Boggs enters the game, we'll take a break. Cardinals trail by 2. Georgia, Mitchell Boggs.
Mitchell appearing for the 38th time. ERA 3.43. Almost a strikeout per inning. Almost more than a hit per inning. He's allowed 3 home runs. He earned his second win in 3 days on Sunday, as he picked up his first win of the season on Friday night. And we've seen him as a closer. We've seen him a very reliable 8th inning man. We've seen him in the doghouse, and we've seen him sent to the minor leagues. And
had some ups and downs
for not understanding why, and I never got that one. And back up here, and one thing is he's been very good at stranding inherited runners.
And a chance to do that here in the 9th. Cardinals already trail by 2. LaCroix, the pinch hitter, shows bunt, takes ball 1. Randy Wolf, 8 solid innings, just 1 Cardinal run on 5 hits. Trying to win his 9th game. Here's a bunt to the third baseman. It's perfectly executed. bunted very well in this series. Milwaukee, a couple of successful sacrifices here. A bunt hit by Nigel Morgan in the first.
You can see the influence of Renicky and his staff. A lot better fundamentals for Milwaukee. It's a key to winning ball games.
Infield in for the Cardinals. They have to choke this run off.
You run the risk of a big inning, but it's very tough to get 2 runs to tie it, let alone even more.
Line drive, base hit to center. 1 run will score. Here comes the second runner, and he's going to be safe at the plate. That's Josh Wilson.
And once again, Corey Hart gets a key hit for the Brewers. Came in talking about Corey Hart, not Braun and Fielder, but Hart and McGee really hurting the Cardinals, and Corey really puts a knife in the coffin.
He is a good fastball hitter, and he takes that one right up the box. No chance for John Jay to throw out Wilson, and it's 5-1 Milwaukee. Morgan pops it up. Freeze, watch out, be careful, and what a play. David Freeze on the run right in front of the Milwaukee dugout. And he didn't have a lot of time to think about that play. He just had to go get it.
He wasn't going to get much help, but what a great pitch by Boggs, and equally a fine play. There's Angel Hernandez hustling all the way, running right there with David, and got a good look at. Sure, he said nice catch, nice play.
So Cardinals don't get a break on the play at first base on the bunt by Josh Wilson. He scores. That's an unearned run. 2 runs charged to Zepchinski, 1 of them earned. Ryan Braun is 1 for 3. Cardinals will send up Corey Patterson, Albert Pujols, David Freeze, and then hopefully Alan Craig in the 9th.
A chance for maybe Berkman, and looks like K-Rod's going to get his first opportunity to get a save with his new ball club. Oh, not a save now. They've got a 4-run deficit.
Was a save at one point.
I was thinking. I was hoping it was still 3-1. Still, he gets the 9th inning.
He's no day at the beach.
No.
Two very close ball games. Brewers prevailed yesterday 5-3. They lead this one 5-1. Finale of the series tomorrow. Chris Carpenter and Giovanni Gallardo. Should be a great matchup. Ground ball to Freeze. Go to the bottom of the 9th. We'll see Albert hit one more time. of the St. Louis Cardinals that may not be reproduced or retransmitted in any form, and the accounts and descriptions of this game may not be disseminated without the express written consent of the St. Louis Cardinals. 5-1 Brewers. Milwaukee has out-hit the Cardinals 8-5. Cardinals with their last chance in the bottom of the ninth, and it'll be against Francisco Rodriguez, K-Rod.
See the 61 strikeouts and 53+ innings. He has pitched one scoreless inning last night against St. Louis. Appeared in 11 games with the Brewers, 2-0, 2.45 ERA. He's a single season saves holder with 62 when he was with the Angels, and he's been reunited with an Angel coach and Ron Renicky, and I believe this is the first time he's ever pitched. He's pitched in the 9th inning for Milwaukee, but he was kind of told he would have some save opportunities, and that still may not be, but he's been a good soldier, you know, understanding that, hey, they got a good winning thing going here right now, and don't rock the boat.
Corey Patterson takes a strike.
And I'm sure being with Renicky has been able to help solve that. You know, he was traded at the All-Star game, and his agent Scott Boras really must have known that he was being thrown out there, and went out and told everyone in baseball and said, hey, 2 closers don't make a good deal. It doesn't make a closer's not a happy setup man. Don't make a trade for him. He's a closer all the way. And Milwaukee went ahead and did it, and so far so good.
Swing and a miss. It's so important when teams are looking for somebody to dominate that 8th inning. Cardinals have had some issues with that at times in 2011, trying to solidify that, but he's the kind of guy certainly that could be a lockdown 8th inning pitcher for Milwaukee.
And you know, if you get another chance to go to postseason, you're on a winning team, you know, that's pretty special.
Strikes out Corey Patterson.
I think so much of his success is so much of his motion. You know, you get caught up in all the arms and legs and him like kind of running. Once he releases the ball, you just lose sight of the release point. And pitching, you know, 1 time a night and maybe 10 times a year, it's tough to pick him up.
Albert Pujols against K-Rod. I think you're right, Al. You look at the velocity of Rodriguez, and really he's thrown harder in his career, but he's really just in the low 90s right now.
And then sometimes you live on that reputation. You know, the people are expecting him to be that 94, 95, and he's not there anymore.
Fly ball to center. Cardinals down to their last out. Our Budweiser player of the game, starting pitcher Randy Wolf, 8 solid innings, no walks, and 1 strikeout for Randy Wolf.
1 strikeout was when he got Albert to chase the ball out of the zone. No walks. Pitched a heck of a ball game. Westbrook, you know, after struggling early, really settled down and pitched a great ball game himself, but he needs a little help from his offense real quick.
Base hit for David Freese. Is that quick enough?
We need a little more.
I wouldn't even mind if it was done slowly, Al.
Skip Schumacher apparently is going to hit for Alan Craig.
It's nice to see David Freese have a good at-bat late in the game. Certainly going to need production from him. This is not the last time the Cardinals and the Brewers will face off this season. We talked about having 7 games left after this one.
But they're making it tougher on themselves.
You bet. Losing a series back here in September.
And there is one baseball belief that streaks follow streaks, and Milwaukee's on quite a roll right now. See if they don't ease up after they leave St. Louis, and maybe you can pick up ground that way. But you got to play good baseball yourself.
One and one to Skip Schumacher. Now the Cardinals down to their last strike. Milwaukee, after the finale here tomorrow against the Cardinals, will play at home against the Pirates and then the Dodgers. And they go to New York and play the Mets and to Pittsburgh.
Reinicke's ball club has outplayed the Cardinals, and they really outpitched them. I think the Cardinal pitching has to get a lot better if they're going to be a factor.
That's the way to get those streaks going, having a hot starting rotation.
And it really sets the tone, but
it's also the way to win in October.
You know, and you have a very potent offense, but it just doesn't always show up.
The 2-2 to Schumacher is a base hit to right field. How about that?
I need more.
Get greedy, Al.
Noddy coming to the plate now. K-Rod, is he being a good bullpenner and pitching this into a save situation for his partner?
I'm pretty sure he's not thinking that.
Don't we always say that?
Oh, yeah.
You got to take care of your teammate. It's not wasn't a save situation, but I'll pitch you into one so Axford can come in behind me and clean up and get a save. It doesn't happen, but we kind of talk that way. Guys in the pen.
Doesn't happen that way, but he is getting loose. Yadier Molina against K-Rod. Here's a big breaker. Called a strike. Might have been off the plate. 0-1 to Yadi. Yadi is 1 for 3. Cardinals with 2 2-out hits. Freese and Schumacher.
You see all that arms and legs coming at you, and then it was a breaking ball.
Ground ball to the left side. Betancourt in the dirt, but it's handled by Prince Fielder. And K-Rod has closed this game out, and it's a Milwaukee Brewer winner, 5-1. Allen, not a good way to start this homestand. The Cardinals dropping the first 2 games of the series.
Very disappointed. You look forward to this showdown, and not that the Cardinals have not showed up, because they have. They've been 2 entertaining ball games, but unfortunately for the Cardinals, Milwaukee has won them and pushed the Cardinals 2 more games back. They're 5 back now.
Wolf the winner. Post game after this.